We welcome you to Sports Talk. I'm Ted Emrich. The girls' basketball playoffs have arrived, and two of the three schools in McKinney ISD are in. North and Boyd can breathe again. Both capped the regular season in exhilarating fashion and grabbed the final playoff spots in their respective districts. We'll sit down with Lady Bulldogs coach Michael Oldham and Lady Broncos coach Brittany Galbraith and look back on just how their teams clinched. And for Boyd, it was a near miracle. We'll also preview their first-round matchups. Meanwhile, McKinney was a game away from joining North and Boyd in the postseason. 23 wins is nothing to feel sorry about, and Coach Debbie Harris will stop by to recap the Lionettes season. Also coming up, the Dennis Baker State Farm Scholar Athlete of the Week. This is Sports Talk. McKinney just missed out on a third straight playoff trip, a game out of fourth place and the final playoff spot as Coach Debbie Harris joins us now. And Debbie, you said coming into the season this was going to be a rebuilding effort. You counted on 6 sophomores all year long, and really the fact that you were this close is a tribute to how far this team grew.
I think we accomplished a lot of things that people didn't think we were going to accomplish. You know, we're 2 points out of fourth place, we're 6 points out of third place, and a total of 9 points out of second. You know, that's the difference between second and fifth in our district. So, you know, it was a good season. Nobody's more disappointed, you know, that we're not going to the playoffs than I am, but 23-12, all of our 12 losses are to playoff teams. So it's frustrating, but it is what it is, and we're going to learn from it. I'm a firm believer that something good comes out of it, and we'll be a better team for it.
You rebounded from a 1-3 start in district play, won 5 in a row, obviously coming up short in the end. In your mind, overall, now that you've had a chance to kind of look back on it, what was the difference down the stretch?
Well, you know, I really think that our youth played a big role, you know, in the fact that when our back was against the wall and definitely valuing the possession of the basketball. But, you know, our kids understood that the second round we had to play better basketball. And we had a big win over Highland Park, you know, a big win over Wiley, and that gave us some momentum going in. You know, I do think that our ability to handle the basketball was exposed, and, you know, it's a learning experience. So I'm very proud of what they accomplished.
Last Tuesday, you had a chance to force a 3-way tie there in the district with Highland Park and McKinney North. If you had beaten the Lady Scots, come up short 48-45, and I'm sure that's really indicative of the district season as a whole, just a play or two away from coming out on top.
Well, we knew going in that there were going to be 5 teams that could take first through fifth in our district on any given night. I think it's one of the toughest 4A districts around. And, you know, depending on how the Wiley North game came out and how our game came out with Highland Park, I mean, literally, you take Highland Park, who takes second, who could have taken fifth. You take a Wiley, you know, who could have taken second or taken fifth. So it definitely came down to, you know, valuing the possession of the basketball, and it was close, and we knew it would be.
Well, this team obviously has a bright future with all those sophomores that we mentioned getting that experience, but it will be tough to move on without your 2 seniors, the only 2 seniors on the roster, Brianna Blackburn and Brianna Smalls. Smalls did so much for you in her varsity career, especially this year. The stats don't tell half the story, but she was second on your team in scoring, also led in rebounding and assists.
She definitely is going to be missed on the court and off the court. You know, I feel like that some of our younger kids have learned some valuable lessons from her, and I think that we've got a couple of kids coming up that are definitely going to follow in her footsteps, and we expect great things out of. But both of our seniors were crucial this year for us.
3 games against McKinney North this whole season, 1 victory over the Lady Bulldogs in a non-district tournament, and then 2 district losses, both decided by a single point. What was the difference in those 2 games? They always come down to the wire, it seems like, that crosstown rivalry.
Well, I think Coach Odom will tell you the same, that neither one of those games were very good. His kids, I don't think, performed to his level of expectation, nor did ours. But I do think that the crosstown rivalry has something to do with that. And again, I think that the fact that we were so young, it was a close ball game, and we had the lead at the end of the basketball game in both of those games, and wound up making some crucial mistakes, and we came out on the short end of the stick, but learning experience nonetheless.
No doubt about that. Debbie, realignment obviously changes things here. McKinney moving to 5A next season. You have a new crosstown rivalry in the district in McKinney-Boyd, of course, also Allen and the Plano schools. Will you miss that rivalry with North in district play?
I think that it's different, you know, with McKinney-Boyd being a newer school. There's definitely, you know, a little deeper rivalry with North, so we're certainly going to try to arrange to where we can get that on our schedule, but I definitely think it'll be missed.
Mariah Mitchell will help carry you into that new district. She averaged 14 points a game as a sophomore here to lead your team this season. Where do you want to see improvement in her game going forward?
I think she's got to improve with her ball handling ability. You know, she, as a freshman, she did not shoot the basketball very well. As a sophomore, she can definitely shoot the ball. She's a great three-point shooter, and she can certainly create a shot off the bounce. But we're going to require more, you know, her to handle the basketball a little bit more for us, and that'll be a key piece of our success going into the 5A district.
I know you like what Mitchell can become as a junior and obviously down the road, and the same goes for Jasmine Nelson, who showed flashes for you as a sophomore. She had 12 points in the regular season finale against Highland Park. What did you like about Jasmine's sophomore year?
Jasmine is really a very agile player. You know, she can play. She's very diverse. She's very athletic, very smart. She's our best defender. You know, she took 21 charges this year. It didn't matter who the other team's best player was, if it was a post or a guard. If we really needed to make a stop, we put Jazz on them. So I expect her to really be a crucial part of our success going forward.
You mentioned the ball handling being an issue all season long, and that was obviously difficult moving on without Andrea Gordon out the University of San Francisco playing Division I ball. How do you address that position going forward?
Well, I think that, you know, just not ignoring it is a key part of that, and I think our kids have definitely embraced that. You know, we ran several kids at the point position, and, you know, until we could make a final decision. And Chrissy Fontius is a freshman for us this year, and she did a great job. You know, she definitely was baptized by fire, and she's a very competitive kid, and we look for great things for her in the future. We're going to spend a lot of time in the off season working on it. You know, we're not going to ignore the fact that we've got to get better at handling the basketball.
Overall, what do you want to see from your team here in the off season going into the summer as you prepare for next year?
I think more than anything, just them understanding that each possession is crucial, and I think that our season was definitely, you know, an indicator of that, and I do think that there were some hard lessons learned, but I think it's going to make us a stronger team. There's no question.
Well, Debbie, we certainly appreciate the time
Thank
this
you.
season.
I appreciate it.
Debbie Harris, head coach of the McKinney Lionettes. They miss out despite a 23-win campaign, but don't look for missing the playoffs to become a habit at McKinney. They prepare to reload for next year.